My name is Patrick Williams. I'm 42 years old. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm presently in Opelousas, Louisiana at the Refinery mission. I'd like to tell you how I was guided to a lighthouse and became refined as a human being. A typical day for me when I was homeless and living on the street was I start the morning, early morning off with as much alcohol as I could. Sometimes that would be a gallon of vodka if I could get it. And I would rob and usually steal out of people's cars and out of stores to get more alcohol and as much food and things that I could pawn off to be able to get so I could either buy more alcohol or get to my other drugs, which was heroin and coke. And once I got that money and I hustled enough and I went enough places and walked the street enough and drank enough, I was able to get my rigs and shoot heroin as much as I could. At my worst point, my wife and I lost our children. My family had to take my children because we were no longer taking care of them. We were going from pillar to post and we had no place to stay, and we were using and drinking and partying so heavily with whatever money we had that they could no longer stay with us. And then from there, just when I thought it was as bad as you can get, my children's mother, my soulmate, died of a heroin overdose in front of us. And 5 days later, we had to pull the plug. And she was no longer with us. And at that point, I spent 3 weeks in a crack house, in a dope house, just drinking and smoking and shooting and snorting and everything I could. And I did it in remembrance of her in some sick, twisted way, saying every time I would drink, or every time I would shoot, or every time I would snort, every time I would smoke, I'd be like, this is for you, baby. This is for you and the family. And that's how twisted and dark my world had become. And later on, after going back and forth in the hospital, mental hospitals, and getting in trouble with the law, I'd finally decided that it was time to end it all. Time to be with my lover. Time to meet her in heaven, if that's where I was gonna go. Time to make sure my kids had whatever insurance money that my parents had put forth on my life so that they could be taken care of, because I could no longer do it. And just when I built up enough courage and enough alcohol and enough heroin in my body to be able to walk in front of that bus, just when I was able to do it and I was able to feel that freedom of no longer caring for anything anymore, I was physically apprehended by police and EMTs just when I was about to step in front of that bus. And that's where my life began to change. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and then I was transferred to a place called Bunkie, Louisiana, to a mental health hospital where I spent 3 weeks. In that 3 weeks' time, I was detoxed and given medications to help stabilize my mental health. And after that 3 week time, I was sent to a place called Opelousas, Louisiana. I'd never heard of this place. I've been in New Orleans all my life, and that was my life. And I was like, where is this place? And I get there, and it's a mission. And once I get there, everything started to change. People embraced me. People talked to me. They gave me food and clothes. I had nothing when I arrived there, but I got love when I came there. And it was something that I hadn't felt in over 17 years. A family again. What the mission gave me when I arrived there was accountability and being able to take care of my responsibilities. And those things were waking up in the morning and going to chapel, hearing early morning devotions, spiritual devotions that helped us move through the day. And in that morning time, it was also my job to be able to feed the guys there in the kitchen. So we woke up to food. We woke up to the structure of being able to know that it's time to eat. And now it's time to worship. It's time to hear the daily word. And that was from a devotion time. And then we had responsibilities of giving back and also living there, of doing assignments and chores to be able to help us keep the area clean and build pride about ourselves. And then from there, we had other classes, work development classes that allowed us to be able to build the resources to know that we were able to get back to work, and things to teach us, to help us with our past problems, to be able to tell employers to be able to move forward and actually get jobs. And not only that, we had rides to be able to go back and forth to mental health hospitals, our jobs, our appointments, and be able to get additional resources. We had donations that were also coming to be able to help us with clothes when we had nothing on our backs. We had funding that was coming to be able to get extra resources. The structure and accountability and things there gave us our lives back. And it still does. And that's why many of us are where we are today, because of that structure. So in closing, I would just like to say that everything the mission has given to me, I have built up a promise that I will do my best to give back. I can never repay what was given to me, and that is my life, and that is my belief in God. And that was given to me through the mission. So for this day forward, I am not just a resident, I am alumni, I am a family member, I am a friend of the Refinery mission. My name is Patrick Williams. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I have been refined in the refinery as a living, breathing, God-fearing human being, and I'm ever so thankful.